Not your keys, not your cheese. Don't get wrecked. This is a public service announcement. This is incredibly, incredibly important because this is securing your wealth, custodying your wealth, having personal responsibility and accountability, and putting your wealth in your own hands and not leaving it up to the whims of someone else. Brandon Gentili here. I was that person too. I was that person. We're all that person. And I've been saying this lately, and in a lot of the Twitter spaces, and a lot of the Bitcoiners have been meeting. It's not that we're geniuses. Bitcoiners can become toxic maximalism. We can become, just indignant at times, and just have this righteousness about us. But it's because we don't want people to get burned. It's out of a place of righteous indignation, of not wanting people to get hurt, not wanting people to get burned, because we've been there. Many of us have been those people that got wrecked, or we're in altcoins, in the scam coins, or we're in gold and silver, or we're in politics before, or all of those things together. Whatever it might be, you have been in those industries. You've been in trying to get into regenerative farming, in helping the food supply, and realizing, oh, I can't because big pharma, big ag, whatever, this money machine, this leviathan, all my tax dollars, all my tax money, the broken currency is getting sent to the people above me to then just pour down marketing and propaganda into the rest of the society. So I can't get ahead because all of my wealth, my time, energy is being spent aimed against me. That's really the crux of everything that's going on here. That's what's absolutely insane. No one should be forced to pay taxes on a currency that someone else gets to print. I mean, think about the insanity of that going on. But again, I was that person too. Don't want to digress too much here. I was a gold bug. I had the altcoins. I didn't know what I didn't know. The crash in 2009 as a senior at Michigan State really opened my eyes that the game was being played on all of us. All of us, the entire thing, the uniparty, the red and blue, Obama finished what Bush had started, both sides. It wasn't red versus blue, it's the state versus you. That's the game. Bread and circus, Roman Empire. They're the ones that made it famous. Put everyone in the Colosseum, have everyone fight it out, get the people drunk on bread and wine, and have the circus, the clowns there, and just fight it out, kill each other. And the Roman emperor sits on high, giving the thumbs up, thumbs down, while the senators, the politicians behind the scenes are destroying the money, stealing the wealth of the individuals through inflation. They're coin clipping, they're debasing it, they're melting gold and silver down and putting copper in, putting base metals in. That's what was stealing the wealth of the individuals, while the clapping seals were in the Colosseum, just watching gladiators, not paying attention to what was going on. And today you can liken that to obviously esports, or fantasy sports, or real sports. All these things are just distractions. Casinos, actual casinos, actually going on to distract the average person from what's actually happening. Fast forward to early this year, I'm sitting in my parents' home watching the Russians start invading Ukraine. It hit me, really hit me. I saw the stories rolling in of people, as we all saw, fleeing, running to Poland, running to other surrounding countries with nothing, just what they could carry. That was it, refugees, or what they could store in their pocket, or store in their brain. Yes, people were carrying their wealth. Stories are coming out left and right of people carrying their wealth on little USB drives, cold storage wallets, or in their brain. 12 or 24 word seed phrases is all they need to memorize, and they could have a million, 1,000, a billion, $1 trillion of wealth stored in their mind. Think about that. When in human history have we been able to store our wealth in our mind? If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what does. This attack and the system beginning to unravel was obvious in my eyes. All my homework and experience led me to ultimately get my Bitcoin, then all of the rest of it, off exchanges and into cold storage wallets. I'd been lazy. I wanted to get it into my own self-custody, and I did. I was lazy, like I said, and I hadn't taken all my Bitcoin off exchanges yet. And I probably had more, I can't remember exactly now, but I probably had more than I should have, or over half of it in exchanges still. And I had it, just in different exchanges, thinking I was good. I was diversified for now. I knew this was it, though. I knew this was one of the big catalysts, though. So I took it all off. And sure enough, within 2 to 3 months, by spring, exchanges started blowing up. Celsius, Terra Luna, Voyager, BlockFi was having trouble. It was 3 Arrows Capital, I believe, is a hedge fund. But all these people started having trouble, and getting and the people that were in that system were losing money left and right because it was just getting locked up. And then bank runs were happening. People, they had been sold too many notes, too many IOUs on what they actually had in reserves, what they actually had in their assets, just like a real bank run. Happens, a legacy system is built the same way that crypto altcoin casinos are built. Same thing. Right now, banks have a zero reserve limit. As of 2020, a zero reserve, meaning they can lend out anything they want, basically, because they don't have to have any deposits backing it up. No customer deposits need to back up anything they lend out. It's a zero reserve requirement. Think about that. Think about that. That's a legacy system. That's not the crypto game system. That's the legacy system. So they're operating the same exact thing. Try to go to the bank right now and take out $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. Go try to take out, $2,000, $5,000, $4,000. They're still going to look at you sideways and say, "Do you have an appointment?" "No, it's my money." Well, no, it's not. It's not your money. Unfortunately, sir, madam, you came in here. You gave us your money. It's legally not yours anymore. That, again, the little subtle nuances that the average person has no idea. Would you put your money in a bank if you knew that? Again, please, I sleep very well after that, knowing I custody my Bitcoin keys and I hold my sovereignty. I hold my wealth. I'm in control of that. Please learn from my lessons. And knowing friends as well who got wrecked. I know friends who got wrecked in these collapses and lost money. Please learn from my lessons, from their lessons. These events will continue to happen in the legacy system and in this crypto altcoin scam system. They will happen everywhere, especially if the Fed continues to tighten, but this will happen over time as well until every last person has learned their lesson. That's it. That's all there is to it. If you like your freedom and your sovereignty is under complete attack from entities all over the world. However, there's good news. I share the bad news, but there is good news. We, the people, outnumber the unproductive class. Bigly, as someone once famous said. In the last week, we've had scammers and shills, Sandbank been freed, more of these exchanges blowing up in the crypto world, in the altcoin scam casino world, blowing up exchanges, losing billions and billions of dollars for other people's money while trying to imitate and play off of Bitcoin's success. The freedom money of the people is designed, Bitcoin is designed to be attacked, is a bearer instrument itself, and is constantly under attack since 2009 and prevails every single time. TikTok, next block, every 10 minutes, right on cue, as it has for 13, 14 years. And this is all the time. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of times Bitcoin's been declared dead. Every time the Bitcoin dips a little bit. This is, I think, one of the most important charts, though. So please look at this carefully. This is the logarithmic chart. So Bitcoin price in log scale. If I would have seen this 5, 6, 7 years ago when I first heard about Bitcoin, I probably would have bought it right away because I didn't understand logarithmic charts 7 years ago. And I was really deep into macroeconomics and studying monetary history, but I was not in a technical analysis in things of that nature, I guess charting, graphs, stuff like that. Only in the last 3, 4, 5 years have I really got into that. But that's where, if I would have seen it in a logarithmic scale, because a lot of what we see in the world is linear. We see in this linear where it just goes up and down. And we're just like, oh, wow, it's really down. Why would I buy it right now? Or what have you. But this, when you see network effect, because this is a discovery, a technological discovery, it's a mathematical discovery, it's many things, but network effects like Facebook, Amazon, Google, all these companies, the tech companies have these network effects, right? Where more and more people that get on the network, that makes that company, the underlying asset, more valuable because more and more people are entering that stream and that ecosystem, and you become less valuable if you're not on the system. Because at some point you cross this Rubicon, right? And many people have their different definitions of whether it's a $100 billion asset or whatever it is, where you now, because you got to a certain point, you can't really be attacked anymore. You can't lose in a sense, right? Because there's such strong network effects now. There's so many people over here playing that if you try to go play your own game over here, people aren't going to go because they're like, oh, I already have this game over here. Why would I go leave and play your game? That is this chart really to a T. So seeing this and seeing the climb it's gone, Bitcoin has gone up and just keeps going up and up and up and up. Number go up, technology up and to the right over time. This chart is so important. That's why I'm spending time on this, because this really opened my eyes to, oh my gosh, this is just network effects. The more and more people that come onto the system, and the mining hash rate keeps going up, the fundamentals keep growing stronger, the number of wallets keep going up. So all the fundamentals are there. So we know by mathematics, this will keep going up. The number will keep going up over time. And hash rate, everything that leads the price. Price lags a lot of these things. So we know the big players are coming in history. We already announced BlackRock and Coinbase and all these things this year. People are coming in, and they're starting to line up now at the door, and they're priming the pump. A lot of it's conjecture, conspiracy, a lot of what's going on. One of the things that I mentioned today to some macro mentors of mine, just one of my theories is, in the 90s, I've studied things about the dot-com crash and Wall Street not front-running the average person. And the average person was actually front-running them. And they had to get everyone out of that trade so that way they could come in and make the money, and then the average person could come in. I feel like that's one of the same things going on here. You have so many weird things going on. They're crashing the markets, interest rates. It's just kind of a byproduct of rising interest rates, which they have to get inflation down. So you have this instance, really this opportunity for all of the big guys now. Oh, all of a sudden it goes from 70,000 in price per Bitcoin to now it's down to whatever it is. It's going to be 12, 14, 15, 18. And it's like, oh, now we get to get in. You kicked a lot of people out, and now they get to come in and they get to front run most of the people, right? So don't be shaken out. This is the chart that changed everything for me. You can see the network effects and what happens over time as more and more people realize what we're talking about here today, that Bitcoin is the only answer. It is the freedom money. It's the money of the people. As Robert Kiyosaki always says, gold is God's money, Bitcoin is the people's money, and then central bank digital currencies or the dollar or fiat currencies, those are the government's money. Total slavery. At the end of this other end of the spectrum, we have global elites. I shouldn't say elites. I don't know why I say elites here. The unproductive class meeting to introduce global worldwide legislation, in essence, that will give them surveillance capabilities into all of your movements everywhere in the world. Digital IDs and vaccine passports are on the way. They've been talking about these for a couple of years now, been warning against these things. Those that love freedom have been warning about this for a number of years. And again, the G20, all these global entities come together and they're trying to pass this so they can surveil and have a hold of every single action you take in life. That is their ultimate goal. This is all about control. People want to control their people. And that's what people that are attracted to governments and global entities, that's what they like to do. That's why you go into positions like that. If you didn't like to do that, you would go into business. You'd go somewhere else and you'd make money, and you would go live in Tahiti and sip Mai Tais. But they don't know how to do that. So they go and they try to get control, and that's how these people effectively quench their power hunger. Their power thirst. This combined with the central bank digital currency and social credit scores through marketing ploys like ESG, as Sam Bankman-Fried apparently exposed with private direct messages and text messages, are hanging by a thread. They're hanging by a thread. They're pushing them hard. It looks like they're going to be there, but they are hanging by a thread. Believe me. And you can see Sam Bankman. You can Google his threads and what's going on. Him just saying, "Yeah, I'm just pretending to be a woke Westerner because that's what get you by in Wall Street and all these things to get you money." And just fool everyone because it's a joke. The momentum from free market and liberty-loving people is only building, and the more destruction and chaos caused by the rulers, the more pain. Unfortunately, there's going to be more pain. The more the average person then wakes up and takes sovereignty into their own hands, whether that is nutrition and fitness, or the jurisdiction they live in, or having a money that cannot be confiscated or printed into oblivion by the ruling class. We are truly in a moment where speeding trains are barreling towards each other, each one with freedom on it, freedom money, and the other with central bank digital currencies and vaccine passports and slavery. Which one's going to win? Which one's going to call chicken? I know this sounds insane and crazy to think about. However, this is decades in the making. This goes back to the Club of Rome 50 years ago, and the World Economic Forum, and the Federal Reserve over 100 years ago. This is not an overnight thing. What has been happening underneath the nose of hundreds of millions of people around the world. That's something we have to admit to ourselves. And right here, again, exchange outflows hit historic highs. So another good sign. So people are realizing Bitcoiners are taking their money off exchanges and saying, nope, I'm self-custodying. This is the revolution. As Nico and Opti of Simply Bitcoin say, self-custody is the revolution. If we do that, no one can do anything. They can't sell paper Bitcoin. They can't suppress the price. No one can take it from you. Self-custody is the revolution. It takes a couple minutes, and you literally have self-custody to have your wealth whenever, however you want. That's it. There is still hope. If there is any shred of hope, it lies in the fact that humans love freedom. We will be the people and the generations that fought and won against global tyrants. I truly believe that. Never before has there been a coordinated attack on freedom worldwide like there is now. Maybe World War II, but that was not as nearly as coordinated, in my opinion, as is now because of technology and ease of travel and communication, the way the unproductive class can communicate so easily and travel around to each other and talk to each other and communicate. We have choices to make not only for ourselves, but more importantly, our posterity, our children and grandchildren. What kind of world will they grow up in? Do we believe in ourselves and our ideals and have enough accountability and personal responsibility to take care of ourselves and our wealth? Or do we need daddy and mommy to govern over us and help us make every decision in our lives? As Jim Rohn and Bob Proctor always said, most people tiptoe through life hoping not to make any noise, only to end up in their grave. As Thomas Jefferson said, I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. I challenge that. I challenge the tiptoeing through life. I call BS. I believe that these generations are different and that the average person does not, the average person does think about the dash on their headstone. All the years that represents, that dash, all the years that represents from the time you were born to the minute you pass on to the next life. What did you do for humanity? What did you do for God's kingdom? It's the money, stupid. That's how the world works, and things get done. The money. Hence why I beat the Bitcoin drum relentlessly day in and day out and spend all my time figuring out how we fix the money, which then begins to heal our families, our businesses, our lives, and everything we cherish. If the money is corrupt and broken, then nothing else matters and you continue beating your head against a wall. Money is the one thing that every single human on earth is connected to and crosses political lines, genders, ideologies, races, ethnicities, creeds, you name it. If we can take the money out of the hands of the ruling class and put it back in the hands of the people, where Thomas Jefferson said it belongs. We've shared those quotes before, which we are extremely close to doing. We are so close. It'll happen. I know it's going to happen this decade. Then we will achieve a prosperity and abundance, the likes of which humanity has never seen. I experienced a small portion of this last week at the Pacific Bitcoin Conference by Swan Bitcoin. And Swan Bitcoin, ironically, made this 15-minute video with Tomer Strolight, Matt Hornick, a bunch of the guys made this video, which is incredible. It's one of my favorite videos. I tear up every time I watch it. Please check this out. I experienced a portion of that last week, what the future looks like. A world dominated by sound money, easy, quick access to money, that sound, ethical, moral, and energetic people were the norm. They were in abundance. I didn't meet one negative person. In this bear market, prices down, and all these crazy things going on, I met the most energetic and most amazing people in my life at this conference. That's the future we have, and we will win because we are full. Bitcoiners are those people, and Bitcoin, you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. So all the people that come into Bitcoin, become a Bitcoiner, we all start going the same direction no matter who you are. That's the beauty of this. Nothing in history has ever come together like this before. It was glorious. I'm here for the fight and the light at the end of the tunnel. Mount up. It's time to head into the breach. Stay strong. If you like this, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Please let us know what we can do better. If you disliked it, how we can better serve you, entertain you, educate you. And like I said, whether it's more tutorials, whether it's pointing you to different places, whatever we need to do here to push the mission of sound money and putting freedom and liberty and prosperity and wealth and protecting life in the hands of the people, respecting property and the free markets, putting that in the hands of all of you, in the people's hands. Appreciate you. Please go check our other videos out. What is money? Some of the videos I've done recently, I think, are some of the most important videos I've done really over the last week or two. And every day I study Bitcoin, the more and more it just exponentially grows my brain. I can literally feel my chemicals in my brain changing, the chemical makeup. So I appreciate you. Your time and energy is the most important asset we have. The finite asset, along with Bitcoin, the two finite assets, right? Bitcoin is time and time is Bitcoin. The only two finite assets we have. It's the only trade that's acceptable. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.